Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. All right, we're going to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rikah Kedash. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai being the name of His only begotten Son, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Now this is going to go into the end of Esau's lies, and his kingdom, his rulership, is going to be World War III. This is going to be the end. Let me start off with Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel chapter, let's see here. Ezekiel chapter 7, starting with verse 5. It says, "Thus says the Lord God, an evil and only evil, behold, is come. An end is come. The end is come. It watches for thee. Behold, it is come." Okay. Now, initially that was for the nation of Israel, but now this is talking about Babylon the Great America. Now, let's get Jeremiah 28 and 8. It says, "The prophets that have been before thee and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence." See, this is why Ezekiel said, evil, only evil is come, because this is the end of this kingdom. This is the end of Esau's rulership and his lies and propaganda, see, that he pushed. We're going to get into Apostle Paul, Ephesians chapter 6, starting with verse 11. Salakia. Tobit. Ephesians chapter 6, starting with verse 11. It says, "Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." See, that wiles of the devil is talking about lies of the devil. And that devil is finna explain who the devil is. It say, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities." That's talking about government. See, not one individual. So they'll try to tell you it's one antichrist individual that's gonna pop up on the scene. Some ruler that's insane and is a path, what you call it? He's a psychopath. Some psychopath ruler gonna pop out of nowhere. He's gonna be the antichrist. No, talking about a government. Said against powers, against rulers. See, with an S on it, not one ruler. Because they'll try to put it on one president that pops up. He gonna be the one that do something. No, this is rulers of the darkness of this world against spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay, this is a whole nation of people that's going to be ruling as a kingdom. See, a great kingdom of people. Jump down to verse 6. It says above 16. This is Ephesians 6 and 16. It says, "Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked." Then them fiery darts go into those lies that he keep pushing, man. Now let's get Psalms. This is Psalms 58 and 3. It says the wicked are estranged from the womb. So this is a bloodline. They coming out the womb constantly with this bloodline. It says they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Verse 4. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the death adder that stoppeth the ear. So they poison, they lies is like poison. See, and when you are infected with their lies, when they seep they poison into your veins, see that venom get into you, it's like poison, and it's gonna infect you. Now let's see here. Let's get who is estranged from the womb to be a poisonous serpent. It's Genesis. I'm gonna start with Genesis 25 and 23. Let's start from the beginning of his kingdom. Now Abraham. Let's get Abraham, because this is one of the reasons why Esau has the rulership. It's Abraham blessing and promise that the Lord gave him. It's Genesis 15. It says, verse 13. And he said unto Abram, know of a certainty that your seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and serve them, and they shall afflict them for 100 years. And also that nation who they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. So that nation wasn't just talking about the nation of Egypt, because now you have the spiritual Egypt, and these two nations is going to be involved, because right here it's talking about two nations. First, it tells you about the first nation they're going to have to serve for 400 years. Then it tells you about the second nation, that who they're going to serve, they're going to have to get judged and have the same punishment as the first nation. Okay, so when you go into Genesis 25, it gives you details about these two nations. This Genesis 25 and 23, it says, I'm going to get right to the point. And the Lord said unto her, talking about Rebekah, it says, two nations are in your womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from your bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So both of them was going to have to serve. Now the elder was going to be Esau. He was going to have that first rulership. See, he was going to be compared to Egypt. Okay, I'm going to jump down to verse 25 to identify Esau. It says, and the furs came out red. This is why you have a red dragon, a red horse, a red beast in Revelation. It says, the first came out red all over like in hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Okay, so let's jump over to Genesis 25. Let's get the context, because they always talk about the context, but they don't even know the history to get a context. Genesis 25 and 38. It says, and Esau said unto his father, have thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, your dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. That fatness stands for richness. It says, and of the dew of heaven from above. This is why Revelation say the first heaven and the first earth, because that heaven and earth represents a rulership. It says, Verse 40. And by your sword shall you live, and serve your brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, talking about the rulership, and still talking about Esau, and thou shalt break his yoke from off your neck. So Jacob is not going to have a yoke on Esau. Esau going to be in total rulership. Now when you go into that sword, let's get that sword that is talking about, and he's telling you who it is in Revelation 6 and 4. It says, and there went out another horse that was red, because Esau's name was changed to red. When you go to that Genesis 25 and 30, it says, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. He had power over the earth. It's pretty much what he's saying. Just like he says, the heavens and the earth, you should have the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven, and you're going to have rulership over heaven and the earth. It says, and that they shall kill one another. So this red horse, and this man that's on this red horse is not just one man. See, he says they shall kill one another. They, that red horse, is a nation of people. See, they shall kill one another. So that person that's riding on that horse is a nation. It says, and there was given unto him, or they, or them, a great sword. See, that's why they got nuclear missiles, nuclear submarines. They got battleships, fighter airplanes, chemical weapons, biological weapons, psychological weapons, the television. See, this is who is in rulership. Now when you jump over to let's see here, Daniel Daniel 7, and I'm gonna start with 23, because this is gonna go into these lies that these people is pushing and identify them as the rulers. This Daniel 7 and 23, it says, thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and tread it down and break it into pieces. See, they're gonna be that last kingdom before Yahweh shall come and take over. Verse 24, it says, and the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise. That's that NATO and the EU. See, NATO and EU, they run in the whole world. All of the nations say we need to be a part of NATO, the European Union, the unity of the so-called white men. We need to be on their team. It says, and he shall be diverse. No, it said, and shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue the 3 kings. 25 is the point. It says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High. See, he's going to be telling all kind of lies against God. He's going to have false religion. See, it's not going to be no just a religion telling the lies. It's a kingdom of people. It says, and he shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. So he's going to change the truth into a lie. This is what, how, let me get Romans, which is, Romans at the end of the day is the land of these Edomites, the land of Esau. Okay. This is verse 20, this is Romans chapter 1, verse 25. It said, who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. See, they changed the truth of the Israelites and what God was preaching to. They whitewashed everything during the iconoclasm. Let me get that, Job 9 and 24. See, they covered the faces of the judges, the faces of all the kingdom, put up false names, named you after a color and a language and a landmass. See, that's not no identification of nothing. You had a forefather that goes back to Abraham, it goes back to Esau, that goes back to Jacob. This is Job 9 and 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? See, if it wasn't these dragons, what's his man's name? Johann Blumenbach. If it wasn't him putting up a chart talking about some skin color, who else? You had what's the guy who did Charles Darwin. He making a book talking about some species. You got different species of humans, and it's all about your skin color and your skull size. See, telling a bunch of lies, man, because they trying to cover over your blood, the bloodline of people. We don't want nobody to know that we come from Esau. So we got to go into skin color, the skull, how big your skull is, and we got to go through all that because we don't want nobody to know that we come from Esau, who is the devil in the Bible. See, and they only had the Bible and books, so they didn't have no TV to get distracted. They knew who they were. It says, if not, where and who is he? The Chinaman didn't do it. The Arabs didn't do it. The East Indians didn't do it. The Hamite Africans didn't do it. See, it was these dragons. Now, let's get some more on these lies, man. This is 2nd Esdras 11. I'm going to start with verse 5. It says, moreover, I beheld and looked. The eagle flew with her feathers. And we know all their countries is represented by that bald eagle. It says, and reigned upon the earth and over them that dwell therein. So they can't hide, talking about some what they say, the 4th kingdom. They'll come with all kind of lies, man. But 2nd Esdras pinpoint them. That 4th kingdom is these red dragons, and they represented by the eagle. I'm gonna jump down to 39. This is 2nd Esdras 11 and 39. And this is another reason they took the Apocrypha, the hidden books, out. Because it was in the Catholic Bible. See, why was it in the Catholic Bible if it was so bad? Then King James in 1611, he had it in his Bible. But when you got the 1881 and they released these Israelites off the plantation, they say, man, we need to destroy that book. Take some of the history out of it so our lives can make sense. Verse 39, it says, are not thou it that remain of the 4th beast, who I made to reign in my world? See, he gave them the blessing of their forefather Esau. It says that the end of their time might come through them. Verse 40, and the 4th came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness. See, they got their military that'll go anywhere and bomb and take over people's land. It says, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression, because they try to spread their banking system everywhere. That's why you got the IMF, see, the International Monetary Fund. You got the Federal Reserve, where they try to spread their banks all over the place. They got them in every country but Iran and maybe another place. It says, and so long time dwelled he upon the earth with deceit. So he been dwelling on the earth a long time, telling a whole bunch of lies, man. Saying that they came over here and discovered America, which these folks was already over here having major kingdoms. You had the the Aztecs, the who is it? The Mayans. All these people had kingdoms over here in South America with a big old pyramids and buildings, man. They gonna say, oh, Montezuma. You have Montezuma over here with 300,000 people down there in Mexico. Major kingdom with glorious clothes on, elegant clothes, with jewelry and all kind of stuff over their body, man. They gonna come over here and say, oh, it's a bunch of savages. Yeah, a bunch of savages in tents made of buffalo hide. See, and they'll just grab you and take your women and eat you alive and say all kind of lies, man. These people's over here civilized and living their whole, got a whole organized kingdoms. See, but they come over here and get to slaughtering people because that's what that great sword allowed them to do. See, he gave them that great sword so they can just start colonizing and taking over all the land of of Jacob, Salakia. Because it said he would no more have a yoke over you. He not going to be in rulership nowhere. See, he going to be a slave out through the whole 12 tribes. Verse 41, it's the second Esdras 11 and 41. It says, For the earth have you not judged with truth. He's not dealing with no truth, all lies. That's why William Casey in the CIA, he say, man, we gonna have it. When our program is successful, every American is gonna believe in a lie. Everything they believe is gonna be a bold-faced lie. See, that's our goal of the CIA. And then they killed his behind, William Casey. He was a CIA director. See, he exposed their whole operation. And that's with Psalm 64. He says their own tongue is going to tell on them. They're going to have what they call them whistleblowers. See, they whistleblowers expose their whole government. See, expose their whole kingdom for lying and telling a bunch of lies. Now let's go into that what it said, let's see here, the colonization part. Revelation, let me get Revelation 12, get some of these hardcore verses. First we did the red horse, now let's do the red dragon. And this go along with Daniel chapter 7 too, when it talks about that fourth kingdom. It identifies who is the ruler of the fourth kingdom. It says, this Revelation 12 and 3, it says, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon. Why is the dragon red? Because it's the kingdom of Edomites. It says, having 7 heads and 10 horns. See, that's in Daniel chapter 7, having 10 horns, 10 kingdoms. 7 crowns upon it, with 7 crowns upon his head. Verse 4 is the point. It says, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven. That third part is coming from those 12 stars that was in verse 1, representing the 12 tribes of Israel. Because in that time of Yahushua, it was only 3 tribes, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. It says, and did cast them to the earth. So they was in slavery under the Herod. They was building Herod's castle. They was building Herod's cathedral. They said it was 3,000 slaves building Herod's kingdom or his palace. It says, and the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered. So it says, so the dragon was standing before the woman. That's Herod saying, we gonna kill this child. It says, to devour her child as soon as it was born. Now the Roman Empire was named the dragon. So they already was calling themselves the dragon. Plus, you had, what was it? Herod, when you look him up, his forefather came from Edom. You see? So that whole dynasty, the Herodian dynasty, was all Edomites. They all came from Edom. And John Hyrcanus, who was an Israelite with the Maccabees, That's why they took the Maccabees out of the Bible, because he forced these Edomites to be follow the laws of Israel, and so now they can married into the culture, and now they can be in the synagogue and everything, because they've been around them, and the people don't know the history. So when he was telling them, you are the what he say in John 44, said you are of your father the devil. He wasn't talking about Israelites, because Edomites had infiltrated. He had forced them to infiltrate the operation. Okay, he says, and she brought forth a male child who will rule all nations with the rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto the Most High and to his throne. So this is talking about Yahushua. The Horonian dynasty, who was Edomites, see the red dragon, they killed Yahushua. This is what he said in Revelation 1 and 7. He said this is why he's coming back for these people. This is Revelation 1 and 7. It says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. See, the Roman Edomites, the so-called white men, they was the ones that pierced him. He coming for them. They was the ones that was trying to kill him. See, let's kill all the babies that's 2 years old, because these people talking about they got a savior coming. That's why here in America, Babylon, you got J. Edgar Hoover talking about we don't want them to unify, and if they have a Messiah, we gonna set them up. See, we gonna set up their Messiah and control his behind. They'll never have no Messiah as long as we on the scene orchestrating everything. Now let's get another one, which is the red beast. Let's go with that red beast. I'm gonna go with this Revelation 17 and really let me get just verse 3 to get to the point. Revelation 17 and 3, it says, and so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast. Why is the beast scarlet color? Because it's red, because Edom means red. Esau's name was changed into red. See, he's the red man. That's why he gonna lie and try to call the Native Americans red when they chocolate black. I just found a Native American from Florida. He was chocolate black with gold all over his body. See, they want to talk about, oh, he was red. No, the so-called white man is the only red people on the scene. It says, a woman sat upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names and blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. So this the same people. See, they got 10 horns, they got 10 kingdoms. See, but he said, oh, they will be called a beast, they will be called a dragon. Now let's go to 13. This is Revelation 13 and 4. It says, and they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Because he got the great sword. See, this beast was given a great sword, meaning a great military. See, well, back in the 1300s, they started making bullets out of carbon dioxide and freaking ash, fire ash. What do they call it? They call it just the ash of fire, pretty much. And they done conjured up how to make gunpowder, and it probably was a Negro showing them how to do it, because they don't even know how to do that. Everything they got, they done stole from these Israelites. Now let's get some more on these 10 kings. Let's see here. Oh, let's get Jeremiah 49. Jeremiah 49, verse, I'm going to start with verse 7. It says, concerning Edom, thus says the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? So their wisdom is going to go out the window. Because they gonna be worried, how in the heck did these Negroes find out that we are the Edomites? We didn't teach them in our seminaries, our cemetery school. We didn't teach them in their churches. How did they find out? See, the Spirit told us. It says, is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? See, how did they find out? Verse 10, it says, but I have made Esau bare. So he exposing they behind. I have uncovered his secret places. He thought he was going to hide under a color. Oh, we're white people. We're Caucasians. We're Europeans. It says, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and that spoiled means destroyed. It said his seed is spoiled, his brethren and his neighbors. He is not going to be able to hide himself, talking about he is a color. You don't represent no color, man. You represent Esau, your forefather, a born liar, because you came from Esau. He created y'all to tell a bunch of lies, man. Now let's get some more on this dragon. Oh, let's get some more on that lie too, because I want to focus in on these lies. Now that 2 Ezra 11 40, it really put a nail in the coffin, but we got more ammunition. This King David, Psalm 52. It says a Psalm of David, verse 1. A Psalm of David when Doeg the Edomite came and told Saul a bold-faced lie. Okay? Verse 2, it says, your tongue devises mischief, like a sharp razor working deceitfully. So he telling them, you got a tongue that love to tell a bunch of lies, man. Verse 3, it says, you love evil more than good. See, this is the heart of the Edomites. And lying rather than to speak righteousness. You'll try to bring out that first, Revelation chapter 1, 14 and 15, talking about Yahweh's hair is like wool. His feet is like brass, burnt brass. They'll come with all kind of excuses. No, he was olive color, Middle Eastern. He was this, he was that. He was really white. His face was shining like the sun. They'll come with a million lies. You looking at them in their face, you got to drill them. You got to hit them with all kind of precepts. They still say, no, he's a Song of Solomon say he's white like milk. It says, verse 4, thou love all devouring words, O thou deceitful tongue. See, the Edomites that was born liars. They love telling a lie. See, that's why, what's that guy named Brene? He was a master propaganda man. He wrote a book called The Propaganda. See, because then he went all the way to the White House and gave it to them. Public relations. This is how you lie to these darn Negroes and Hispanics. This is how you tell them a bunch of lies. See, tell them to eat a nasty, stinking pig. See, tell them this is the best breakfast in the world. Get by 5 doctors with white coats, 500 of them, and then they'll believe it. This is, let's get some more. So that set the foundation. Psalm 52 for Psalm 58, when he say they born telling a darn lie. But 52 tell you how they orchestrate these lies. Psalm 55. This Psalm 55 and 20 says he put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. So the Native Americans had all kind of peace treaties, 400 peace treaties with the so-called white man, and he didn't stand up to nail one of them. It says, he have broken his covenant. See, he'll make a covenant with Iran. That's why Iran ain't falling for the trick. See, he'll make a covenant and say, you know what? We got a nuclear peace treaty with y'all, and y'all do this and that. Next thing you know, he'll be bombing the people, man. They not stupid. Verse 21, it says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. So he like to butter you up. I just say, they want to butter you up. It says, but war was in his heart. See, he's signing all these treaties. We gonna take over this part, and y'all keep that part, and we'll leave y'all alone and all this crap. Next thing you know, the Edomites done snuck over there and raped the women and start killing them. It says, his words were softer than oil. They always talking about, I love you. But what about love? What are y'all preaching about? Why don't y'all preach about love? See, you don't even know what love is, but see, he just want to come with that darn oil and butter. It says his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn sword. See, he got that military on your corner. See, he gonna talk about, oh, just like with the ICE people. He say, oh man, they done broke the law, but the whole time he done set up the whole situation. Let's bring them in here, and then once they get in here, we can lock them up and kill them. See, just like with the Negroes, they say, okay, let's let them off the plantation, but then we can make vagrancy laws. So when they get off the plantation, we can throw them right back in the jailhouse for jaywalking and breaking laws, man. 13th Amendment. We can turn them right back into slaves and privatize the prison and start the whole operation over again. See, this is what a Negro don't understand about their enemy. See, it's deeper than you talking about, he wants to love everybody. No, you got to understand your enemy, and let's go into that, because he is a born liar. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 10. It says, never trust your enemy. See, when you trust in your enemy, now you ain't worried about no thing that he doing. Oh, he plotting on me this way, that way. Yeah, because you trusting him. See, even with that Margaret Sanger in the abortion clinic, see, these Negroes trust them. So, first of all, they sent the preacher to go tell them too. You go tell them Negroes, and especially the rebellious ones, you expose them and say that they some heretics and they the devil, and make sure that they don't know that we trying to kill them. See, we don't need them. We need them to trust us. You go talk to them Negroes in the churches and convince them that we not trying to kill them. We got an abortion clinic, because what if one of them somebody get molested or something? Then you're gonna need the abortion clinic. See, convince them that we not trying to kill them. It says, never trust your enemy, for like as iron rust, so is his wickedness. See, his wickedness, you can't get rid of it. Soon as you put trust there, and then you back up off of it, that's when the more wickedness gonna come. Because you said you stop polishing the chrome, polishing the whatever, tending to it, cleaning it. You just let it sit there and let the rain hit it and the atmosphere hit it, and then the rust start coming back. Because you put trust in it that it's gonna stay like it is. Now let me get down to the point. Well, let's start with 11. It says, this Ecclesiastes is 12 and 10 in the Apocrypha, but this 12:11. It says, though he humble himself. See, that's what it talks about. He buttering you up with his words. He's speaking soft, words soft like oil. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, ye take good heed and be aware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou had wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. It says, set him not by you, lest when he overthrow you, he shall stand in your place. See, this is that's going back to that on Ukraine. See, he told them not to set these Edomites even by them, man. They should have never let them Edomites come around. Let's see here. It says, neither let him sit at your right hand, lest he seek to take your seat. See, this is why we telling them, you all in them churches trying to hang and be shoulder to shoulder with these Edomites, man. And you not gonna understand your enemy. You don't let your guard down, and he gonna get your behind. Like with that little boy ran up in the church, they up in there praying to the Lord. See, but they don't know this Bible. and they following the devil, and he done shot all they behind. Pow, 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 pow. Because you want to sit up there and believe your slave master. So now he can wiggle up in the church with all of y'all while y'all praying and shoot you in the head. Then they gave him a cheeseburger after he blew their head off, man. What the dude named Dylan something. It says, sit him not by you. No, it says, lest he seek to take your seat. It says, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. So you gonna remember that we was telling you not to trust your enemy. It says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? See, these South Americans, these Hispanics, we telling them, y'all better not trust these devils, man. You coming over here thinking you finna get the American dream, you gonna make a major come up, or you gonna siphon some money out of America and send it back to your country. See, you just don't know. These folks setting you up for a major fall. See, they just inviting you. Y'all can come on over. We got sanctuary cities and everything. Come on over. See, when they know when Trump get them, we gonna kill they behind. See, so he sets you up for failure. It says, bitten with a serpent or any as such near a wild beast. That's why he called him a beast, a serpent. See, all talking about these Edomites. Now, when you go into, let's get Malachi 1 and 4. Well, let's start with verse 3. He says, and I hated Esau. See, you will never hear this in a Christian church. They telling a bold-faced lie. We don't went to these people's churches for decades. How I go to your church for a decade and I don't know nothing about Esau? Zero. You got to wait to 2000, the late 2000s, man, going into 2030, and we start hearing about a freaking nation of people that we ain't never heard about. What is that? Because they giving you the same 3 sermons when you go in there. And they're telling the preacher, don't you preach nothing else but what we tell you to preach. It says, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste. The heritage is his descendants, his family, his nation. They're going to be laid waste, destroyed. For the dragons of the wilderness. That's going back to the red dragon. See, that's why Apostle John, he say, man, that red dragon, all we got to do is call him red dragon. Our people to put it 2 and 2 together. Verse 4, it says, whereas Edom says, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. So we gon' tell a bunch of lies or force them, doing the Greeks, to follow our religion, or we tell them we gonna kill them. Same thing with the Romans. But then we gonna go out of power, and then we gonna come back during the Renaissance and get to telling some more lies. Let me get that real quick, because I was just listening to a breakdown, and it said exactly that. This is in verse 30 about that red dragon. See, this Revelation 20 and 3, Salakia. Revelation 20 and 3, it says, and cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and sealed and set a seal upon him. So that's when they was impoverished. It says that he shall deceive the nations no more. So he couldn't tell his lies during the Dark Ages, during the before the Renaissance time, during the Byzantine Empire. It says, where is it? Till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. That's that Byzantine Empire before the Renaissance. And after that, he must be loose for a little season. So he gonna come back into power. He gonna build again, build the desolate places. Okay, he says, thus says the Lord of hosts, they shall build, this back in Malachi 1 and 4, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people, see, not just one man, or he's a representative, because the Christian church love to talk about somebody as a representation. Oh, the Israelites is just a representation of the church. See, you a lie. It says, And they shall call them, the whole nation of Edom, the border of wickedness, and the people against who the Lord have indignation forever. So they was going to be the border of wickedness, telling a whole bunch of lies. And let's get that. The border of wickedness. Let's see what the wickedness is all about. This is Proverbs. Let's see here. Yeah, Proverbs chapter 6, starting at verse 16. It says, these 6 things do the Lord hate. See, this is why he hates these people. This is why he hates Esau. It says, 6 things do the Lord hate, and the 7 are abomination unto him. A proud look. See, in all the descriptions of Esau, it says his pride have deceived him. It says a lying tongue. See, he's a bold-faced liar. See, they love to tell a lie, man. This is why the Lord hates them. It ain't got nothing to do with he's an example of this type of, no. The whole nation love to lie. You can't pull the truth out of them. They'll keep gaslighting you and playing semantics. See, this is what they do. Gaslight. Play some more semantics. Gaslight. Semantics. See, you'll be wrestling over a thought for 100 years with these people, man. It says, lying tongue and hands that shed innocent blood. So this was describing these Edomites off the rip. And look at verse 18 to throw the wicked in there. It says, and heart that devise wicked imaginations. His mind is wicked, man. This is why he hates these people. Feet that be swift in the running into mischief, a false witness that speak lies. See, they trying to act like, oh, they're criminals. You set up the whole situation. You told them to come over here in our sanctuary cities. We'll give you $3,000 while these Negroes fighting for a job. You come on over here because we got a setup for your behind. Because when we give it to Trump, we going to be able to round you up and throw you off of a plane. It says, where is it, 16? It says, and he that sows discourse among brethren. What the CIA say? Oh, we gonna send a spy in there, and he gonna infiltrate their whole operation like we did with the Black Panthers, and he gonna tell us all of their intel. Or we'll write a letter like he did the Black Panthers. Write a letter to this dude, telling a lie about this other dude, and then write a letter to him saying it came from him, but it really all coming from the CIA, from Esau, Edom, the devil. See, it says, and they love talking about they don't have conspiracy. Oh, that's a conspiracy theory. You got a conspiracy organization, the FBI, the CIA, a secret organization. How you talking about, oh, it's a conspiracy theory? Duh. Where is it? It says, he that soweth discord among brethren. So that's about the end of that. So that's the whole breakdown of Esau right there, man. They love lying. They love killing somebody. Their imagination is how we gonna kill them, and what way we gonna kill them, how we gonna trick them and lie to them, and steal their money, have them working from can't see to can't see, but you still in debt. See, you paying a bunch of bills, but you got a job, but you still working like a dang rat. You running around the darn rat treadmill, and you ain't getting no progress. They got tricks up their sleeve for days. Now let's go into it's another killer. You got Malachi. Oh, Habakkuk. Let's identify this kingdom that he's talking about. And what I was saying earlier about we went to these people's churches all this time, and we never heard nothing about an Edomite and the Israelites having a major adversary nation that was born in the womb with them and been fighting with them all the way up to the Roman time. It says, what is Habakkuk? Let's start with verse 3. It says, no, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. So he had an appointed time to expose them. says, but at the end it shall speak. So right before World War III, when missiles is flying, this is when he gonna start exposing all their lies. And it says, shall the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And what is the vision of this wicked man, this wicked nation, Esau? Verse 4, it says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. See, we gonna get the exposure or the revelation of Esau until the end. We weren't gonna get that revelation of Esau until World War III is about to pop off and take it to a major situation, and Jacob's trouble come into play. It says, but the just shall live by his faith. Okay. Now verse 5, it says, yeah, also because he transgressed by wine. He is a proud man. So that wine is those lies that he telling to put influence on these people, have these people drunk off his lies, man. It said he is a proud man. I got that proud man again. What did he say? The 6 things that the Lord hate: a proud look and a lying tongue, describing these Edomites. It says, neither keepeth at home, because he always in somebody else's country. He got embassies all over the place. That's what that scarlet colored beast, he got, he said this whore is in everybody's land. He's sitting on all waters, many waters, that's what it said. So he got an embassy on everybody's land, a military base real close to their land. It says, who enlarges his desire as hell and is as death. So that death is talking about these Edomites, man. That's what Revelation say, death and hell will be swallowed up. See, because he talking about that missiles is going to come down on these Edomites. It says, is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heap unto him all people. That's Babylon the Great, the American Empire, the melting pot. See, that's why they call this place a melting pot. And all of the 10 horns or the 10 kingdoms of these Edomites, they got immigration problems. People come, the African, the Hamites, and the Israelites flooded into their land trying to get a job for massa. Because what this verse here, it says, verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increased that which is not his. So he's stealing everybody's stuff. See, he ain't keeping himself at home. He's going out and colonizing everybody. It says, how long? And to him that layeth himself with thick clay. That means when you go into the Hebrew, that's talking about debt. He in deep debt. Right now he got about $200 trillion worth of debt because his credit is long. Because he's so filthy rich, everybody will loan him some money. See, everybody will make a deal with him, just like with the American dollar. That American dollar is in everybody's land. Everybody's dealing with that American dollar. Let me see if I got another one. Obadiah, let's get that Obadiah. See, everybody's making deals with this dragon. This Obadiah, I'm going to start with verse 1 and say, the vision of Obadiah, thus says the Lord God concerning Edom. So this is concerning the Edomites. And I'm going to jump down to verse 7 to get to the point. It says, all the men of your confederacy have brought you even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. So these people done got covenants with these folks, with their international monetary fund. They all say, let's give our gold to America, and America gonna give us their dollar. So we gonna have an even exchange, and they gonna guarantee our gold, to give our gold back if we ask for it. We can put our trust in them. So they got a confederacy. And let's go into this confederacy of the Edomites, because everybody want their gold, and everybody want to be on their team, like with the NATO and EU. This is Psalms 83. It talks about this confederacy, that he done teamed up with all these other nations, and this is how he getting rich. In Revelation 18 is the cream of the crop. But I'm gonna go into this because name these nations. It says, verse 3 says, they have taken this Psalm 83 and 3. They have taken crafty counsel against your people and consulted against your hidden one. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So we either gonna steal their name so nobody will know who the heck they is. It says, verse 5, they have consulted together with one consent. That's their League of Nations. That's their United Nations. See, they done got all the nations to come together so they can be a confederate. They are confederate against thee. So that's what Obadiah is talking about. They got a confederacy of nations. Here it goes, verse 6. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites. So that's why you got the Arab and the so-called white man going at each other so hard, because they two of the main players, the Arabs and the Edomites. Then the next major player is Moab, the Chinese. See, the Chinaman. And the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek. Amalek is the top tribe of the Edomites who is orchestrating the whole thing. You see them hugged up with the Chinese, hugged up with the Arab. They all over the place, but they are so-called Jewish oligarchs. Now when you go into, what is it? This confederacy, how they got all the nations on their team. This is Revelation 18 and 3. It says, for all nations have drunk the wine of the wrath of her fornication. So he gathering all nations under himself, man, making major deals. See, it said the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxing rich through the abundance of her delicacy. That's what I was talking about, that American dollar. See, you had that global, you had that the International Monetary Fund that put the dollar up there. Then you had in 1970 when they made a deal with the Arabs of Saudi Arabia with the Ishmaelites. They made a deal with them with the petrodollar. Now the gas is based off gas. Then they messed that up, and they went it was at a level that they didn't need nobody. So it say all the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy. They all got the American dollar in their hands. They rather deal with the American dollar than to deal with their own dollar. That's why the BRICS situation, where they trying to start their own monetary fund, that's a major situation that Trump talking about, hey man, they trying to come against the dollar. See, because they had a global reserve currency. Everybody was dealing with that dollar. To trade in the World Trade Center, you had to have 2 banking accounts so you can trade with the American dollar, which is going to give you the highest value. Because you trade with the Zimbabwe dollar, which is dirt, or you trade with the yen or whatever other dollar, it ain't going to be you ain't going to get no profit. But if you trade with the American dollar, with the World Trade Center, now you're going to get all the profit. So this is how everybody was getting rich with the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, the devil. Okay. Now let's see here. Let's get Zephaniah, because they gonna have a crash, and that's when their kingdom gonna fall, and World War III gonna pop off. Because when you start messing with their money, that's when they want to kill you behind, just like the mafia. Now this Zephaniah chapter 1, I'm gonna start with verse start with verse 10. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day, says the Lord, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate. That fish gate is talking about when they was dealing with they what you call it, the money, it was like a business transaction in Jerusalem. It says, and a howling from the second. So I guess it's talking about different gates. It says, and a great crashing from the hills. Now that hills represent nations. So it's going to be a great crashing that's going to happen. And this is going to break it down in verse 11. It says, howl ye inhabitants of Metish, for Maktish, for all the merchant people are cut down, all that bear silver are cut off. So it's going to be a major money crash. See, that dollar is going to crash, and whatever else they got is going to crash. And this is when they're going to turn into turbo. They're going to turn the turbo on, and they're going to start coming up with major plans. Let's go digital. Let's put the tracking device on these people. Let's go into that. It's Revelation chapter 6, starting with verse 5. It says, and when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. That pair of balances is talking about a yoke, something that you enslave somebody with. That's what that M-O to the T to the B is all about. See, that charagma is going to, he going to try to put a slave device on your behind. And let's get that in the Exodus, is it 21? Exodus 21 and 6, it says, then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awe, and he shall serve him forever. That's what that RFID chip, see, this tracking device he gonna try to put on these people, so they can be his slave forever. Because once he controlling the computer system, he talking about we're gonna join man with computer. Because once we join man with machine, so the machines don't get no power and overtake us. See, and we'll be slaves to the machines. And no, you're gonna be slaves to the people that run the machine. That's what you're gonna be slaves to. Because they planning on running the machine so they can turn you into their slave. Well, they already got you with the monetary fund and the Federal Reserve. But they want a stronger hold on you so you can't lie and cheat. They got a tracking device on you. They can watch your banking account, watch what you spend. You can't get no dollars and coins and hide them and make a come up on these people. Now let's see here. Let's go back to Revelation 13. Revelation 13, I'm gonna get verse 14. It says, and deceived, talking about this beast and the dragon, the so-called white man. This 13 and 14. And deceived them that dwell upon the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. So he gonna have all kind of miracles popping up. Something that'll blow your mind, something amazing that he gonna do with these robots and this technology. See, he gonna have it where, we can heal you. See, because he already, Elon Musk, already trying to create a way to join man with machine. See, whether you can have a darn computer in your head. That's what the Black Mirror on Netflix. They got a whole movie about them having some darn device that you can be inside of the device so much that this is your reality, like the Matrix. See, they've been had this thought way back in the 1940s. They've been trying to do this stuff. It says, have power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image of the beast, which had the womb, which had the womb by a sword and did live. So it's talking about that same kingdom of the Edomites who fell out of power, and they was impoverished during the Byzantine Empire in the Dark Ages, and then they came back to life. They gonna have another image, and that image is gonna be something that they gonna spread throughout all the world. And let's jump down to verse 16 that's talking about it. This Revelation 13 and 16, it says, and he caused all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark or charagma in their right hand or in their forehead, some kind of slave device, which is that RFID chip. It says 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark. Unless he got that slavery device, that rice device they call that grain of rice, they're gonna try to put it between your two hands. You ain't gonna be able to buy or sell. It says, save he had the mark or the name of the beast or the name of his name. So he gonna try to put this yoke on the people, man. Let's get this second Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11. It says, lest Satan shall get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. See, we know that rice device they trying to put on people. They got all kind of whistleblowers telling you this is what they're trying to do. 90% of the money that's being what you call it, 90% of the way people is dealing with money is through a freaking the RFID chip. So it's already on the scene. You got 20,000 to 50,000 people with the thing already. See, and they gonna try to keep spreading all over the world. They gonna call some kind of major event, but now they gonna tell these so-called Americans. And this is what Trump trying to do. He trying to say, hey man, we need to back our dollar off this Bitcoin. So now you don't get the Bitcoin, you can't deal with the dollar. In order to get the Bitcoin, now you're gonna have to put it in your hand. See, that's all they got to say. Now the whole world trying to put the Bitcoin in the hand so they can spend money with America, so they can get the top level of trade for their dollar, because their currency ain't cutting it. And he had a emergency state where he got to hurry up and do it. So before Russia and China and Iran and India and all these people get their monetary system up above his. He had crunch time. He said it's like losing the world war if these people start their BRICS money system and we become none and void. That American dollar is wiped off the table. So he's saying we got to hurry up and beat the BRICS to making this our dollar the #1 currency. So he's gonna say we need to put everybody with a chip in their hand. See, everybody got to have this dollar on them. So he had crunch time. He rushing. He said this is an emergency situation. We got to hurry up and do it. And guess what? Let's jump over to chapter 4. This is 2 Corinthians 4 and 4. It says, "And who the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not." See, they trust their enemy, and he gonna tell them what he gotta do, and they gonna consent to it. They gonna say, "Okay, master, whatever you say." Let's get this second Ezra, because this is another reason why they want to take out that apocrypha. Because I done went to this apocrypha many times to prove the point. This is 2 Ezra 6 and 9. It's to get right to the, well, let's get 7 to get the context. It says, "Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of time?" Meaning, what's going to be the end of the time, man? End of the world. "Or when shall be the end of the first?" Because see, the first is when these dragons came into rulership, and the beginning of it that followeth. And he said unto me, for Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau was born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. So Esau was above Jacob, coming out of the womb, and Jacob grabbed his heel. So Esau was going to be first. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So he going to be in rulership, and Yahushua and the 44,000 going to pull these dragons out of rulership. They military ain't going to be able to compete with the Lord and they superpowers. Because they coming with spiritual power. They're not coming with no physical, mechanical power. Now let's jump down to, let's see here. Because we're still on these lies and it's truth. So the end of his kingdom is going to be this. This is 6 and 27. So that was verse 9, not verse 27 in 2nd Esdras. Say, for evil shall be put out, deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome. And the truth, which have been long time without fruit, shall be declared. So that's why it's so important for us to declare the truth to bring this man's kingdom down. This is when his kingdom is going to come to an end. But let's get 2nd Esdras 16, because at the end of that kingdom, he's going to be mad as heck. The 2nd Esdras 16 and 68, it says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. Because now all of his lies is being exposed. See, he's seeing that his world is coming to an end. He's seeing these UFOs out here flying. See, through his radars, he's seeing all kind of UFOs. That's what Luke 21 and 25, 26 talking about. He's looking at the sun, the moon, the stars. He's looking in the sky, and he's seeing something that he don't understand. He's getting scared. See, fear is overtaking him. It says, let me start over 68. 2nd Esdras 16:68. For behold, a burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. And they shall take away certain of you. See, they grab them up, the ice. Ice taking certain of you away. It says, and feed you being idle. See, they want to feed them to an alligator. Put them in alligator Alcatraz. Bunch of wetbacks. Put them in alligator Alcatraz. It says, and feed you being idle with things offered unto idols. And verse 69, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under the foot. See, those individuals that want to be, even in those Alcatraz camps, they saying they putting a tracking device on their behind and setting them free. See, they probably telling them, you take this device, this tracking device, we'll let you go. See, this is the same situation going, and that's probably a training or a testing ground for when they bring out that charagma and that MO to the T to the B. Let's put them in a harsh situation and see how they react, so we'll know when we bring out this real situation, we'll know what to do. It says, verse 70, for there shall be in every place, this verse 70, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So now he's saying it's going to be a great insurrection on those that fear the Lord. See, now we're going to round these people up, just like we doing, put them on an airplane, a cargo plane, and fly them into a whole nother country. We don't even got to take them back to Mexico or South America. We can take them anywhere. It says, verse 71, and they shall be like mad men, sparing none. See, when ICE hit the scene, They're not gonna spare nobody, man. They're not gonna say, oh, you know what? We don't think that this person is a immigrant. They've been working on this job for 10 years. They don't care. They gonna straight kidnap your behind. It says, they shall be like mad men, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. And for they shall waste and take away their good and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen. See, that's just a testing ground, because they gonna try to go after the chosen. These are the tactics that they gonna use to try to go after the chosen. So they want to see what's working and what ain't working. And so this is what's gonna go down with these Israelites, man. Let's get this Isaiah 59, because Apostle Paul quoted this in Romans 11, but they all over the place, and they talking about a sin. Oh, he's not talking about slavery. He's talking about sin. No, he's talking about saving them from slavery. This is Isaiah 59, starting with 19. See, that Redeemer was coming to redeem them from a specific situation, not from no sin. It says, so they shall fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy come in like a flood. So that Redeemer, he's coming because the enemy trying to kill him, not because they were sinning. Oh, the first sin of Adam sinned, and he passed sin and death to the whole world. So now we need a Redeemer. No, we need a Redeemer because the enemy is coming in like a flood. Okay? It says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him, and the Redeemer shall come to Zion. Why? Because Zion gonna have an enemy trying to kill him. See, they done exposed us. They done exposed that we are the Edomites. See, they the ones saying that only they gonna be rescued and saved. It's not about sin. It's about them being rescued from us. See, they done found out the truth. Let's get Wisdom of Solomon. See, Wisdom of Solomon, the righteous man ain't just talking about sin. Oh, he's righteous and he's not sinning anymore. See, no, that's not what the righteous man is doing. This Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. It says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no accounts of his labors. So this is what the righteous man is doing. He's standing before his slave master, his enemy that's afflicting him. See, not just, oh, he's righteous and he's knocking on everybody's door and trying to tell them that God loves them. No. God died for them. That's not what the righteous man is doing. He's standing in great boldness against the slave master, against his oppressor, against the wicked kingdom. It says, verse 2, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. See, they're going to be terrified. Oh, Lord, why are they on the corner? And the wicked Negroes all the time. Why are they on the corner and they talking bad about these people? God love everybody. See, they amazed at what we doing. They don't understand that we fulfilling Bible prophecy. It says, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. The salvation is that you go stand in the face of your enemy and tell him what's going on. He don't even know what's going on. See, you got to tell him what's going on. That's so strange. It says, so far beyond all that they look for, because see, they're looking for some antichrist and some all kind of ignorant mess to go on, when they the antichrist and they the devil and they the Satan. It says, verse 3, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves. See, they ain't gonna tell you off the rip. They're not going to say, you know what, you Israelites is right. But they going to know deep inside that here it comes. Oh, here it comes. It says, this is he who we had in derision. See, we was flooding his neighborhood with crack cocaine. We was making them some bases and drug addicts all over the place. How did they come out of it? It says, this is he who we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb of reproach. See, we call them a blackie. You're a bunch of blackies. You look like a bunch of apes. You look like some gorillas. It says, we fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of the Most High? And his lot is among the saints. Therefore we have error from the way of truth. So we was telling a bunch of lies. We was believing our pastors and our preachers, and they were lying to us the whole time. We didn't know that these Negroes right here, these Hispanics, was God's chosen people. We didn't know he was only coming for them. We didn't know Margaret Sanger and our government was trying to kill them. See, we didn't know these things. It says, we have erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shined on us. The sun of righteousness rose not upon us. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. See, that's all you get from a Babylon the Great America and the so-called white men. Rape, rob, and murder. Let's go into that. This is Obadiah, verse 5. Obadiah, verse 5, it says, if thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? See, how is it searched out? What these dragons gonna do, man? Because they the one that's rape, robbing, and murdering everything. That's why they on TikTok and on the tube talking about, yeah, man, we can't help but to admit it, man. It was us. We're the murderers, the killers, the colonizers. See, we've been doing all of this wickedness, man. See, that what. Let me get Psalm 64, because that's a major prophecy, man. That these whistleblowers is gonna be exposing these dragons. Because let's get the whole. It ain't but 4 verses. This Psalm 64, starting with verse 2, it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. See, these North American Hispanics and South American, the northern kingdom of Israel, they don't know that these people got secret counsel, man. They counseling with each other and plotting on their behind. It says, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. See, they make up a plan for your behind. Verse 5, they encourage themselves in an evil manner. They commune of laying snares privately, or traps privately. They say, who shall see them? They seek out iniquities. See, let's make them break the law. Let's set them up where they're going to break the law, and we can round them up and put them in ICE detention centers. It says, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. So they try to come up with a way to plot and plan and to trap your behind, man. It says, verse 7, but God shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. Ultimately, it's talking about those nuclear missiles where he going to destroy their whole kingdom with, but also with the whistleblowers. It says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. So they going to tell on themselves. And they that see them shall flee away. Soon as you see them, you ain't not trying to deal with them because you already know they the enemy. But see, it says, all that see them. See, a lot of these people don't see them. They don't want to see them. I don't see none of that. God loves everybody. See, they want to stick into that mindset. So now we ain't got to see no enemy. Only person we want to see is a fake fallen angel. See, a fake fallen enemy. We don't want to see no real enemy. We want something fake. Let me get that in Isaiah 30. To give us a lie, we rather go with the lie because we don't want to go with the real deal. This is Isaiah 30 and 10. It says, which say to the seers, well, let's get verse 9 because I want to get the context, who it's talking about. It says that this is a rebellious people. You got the Hispanic, the Native American. They don't want to believe that the so-called white man is the devil in the Bible. You got the Negroes. They don't want to believe he's the devil in the Bible. It says this is a rebellious people, lying children. And they really lying because they know this man the devil. See, they know certified through the record, through the background. When they do a background check on your behind, they know you're a criminal. It says, children that will not hear the law of the Lord. See, they don't want to hear the proof that this man is the devil. It says, which say to the seers, see the people that see who the devil is, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit, tell us a lie. We want a lie, man. We don't want the truth. Don't come up, please don't tell us the truth. I just saw the guy, he there in Miami, and the guy he trying to tell, he talking to the devil. He a super saver Negro. Hey man, don't listen to them, man. They don't listen to them. They God love everybody, man. Don't listen to them. See, he don't. Then he didn't want to talk to them, the seers. He just wanted to tell the devil it's okay, don't talk to him, and he gonna run off before they can say anything to him because he don't want to say nothing. He don't want to see the real prophecy. Now let's jump back up to verse 2. This is Isaiah 30 and 2. It says, that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth. See, they asking that they slave master's mouth with that Christian slave doctrine. See, that they've been preaching since 1400 before they colonized the whole world. See, before you was even born, they was spewing them lies out of their mouth with the Renaissance time. It says, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Let's see who the shadow of Egypt is. This is Romans chapter 9, starting with verse 13. It says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So he hates the so-called white man. Verse 17, he says, for the scripture says under Pharaoh. See, the shadow of Egypt. The shadow of Egypt is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. But they put their trust in this dragon. It says, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. So all the earth is gonna hear how the Lord destroyed these Edomites. See, they gonna hear, man, he destroyed. They had a major military. See, and the Lord came and destroyed they behind. They thought they was gonna fight against Yahweh and got demolished. What's that? Isaiah 31 and 3. Here go another shadow of Egypt parallel. But it's really talking about the Edomites, but it's saying Egyptian, because it's using that as a parable or a similitude. It's Isaiah 31 and 3. It says, now the Egyptians are men and not God, and their horses are flesh and not spirit. See, they're not gonna have spiritual power that's gonna be able to defeat the Israelites. See, Yahweh shot 144,000 go run through these people like it ain't nothing, man. If you ever seen the movie, what's that? The pirate movie. It's called The Pirate of Caribbean or something. I forget the name of it. But not the pirate movie. The Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings. They was trying to defeat somebody, and they had to go get the dead people to come alive. And when the so-called dead people had owed them they had owed them a favor. So he said, man, we here to cash in on that favor. So and they came with an army. So this dead army came and just ran through all of these adversaries of the opposite military. Just ran through them like it wasn't nothing, because they were spirit and the people that was flesh was no competition. This is how the 144,000 go run through these people. Let's get that in Jeremiah. Jeremiah 51 and starting with verse 20. It says, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nation, and with thee will I destroy kingdom, and with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider. So they gonna be running through their military like it ain't no thing. That's what he say. He gonna lift up a standard when the enemy come in like a flood. See, they gonna come in with their slave device, trying to round people up like they already doing with their ICE situation. And then he gonna lift up that standard. Let's see here. Well, we gotta get Zechariah 12. It don't get no better than that. And I'm gonna start with verse 2. This Zechariah 12 and 2. It says, and in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. That's why Daniel, when you go into Daniel, they talk about the stone hitting these kingdoms. It says, all that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces. Though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it, see, they're going to be cut in pieces. How? Verse 8. This is Zechariah 12 and 8. It says, in that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Because they're going to be coming in like a flood. So how is the Lord going to defend his people when they come in like a flood? It says, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David. So it's not just going to be Yahweh kicking butt. It's going to be the feeble amongst the Israelites that's going to get spiritual power to kick behind. It says, and the house of David shall be as God and as the angel of the Lord before them. So they're going to be feeble men, and then the Lord going to give them spiritual power. So when everybody come against them, when the enemy come in like a flood, it's going to be a major war. Let's get Revelation 19 and 19. It says, and I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. See, Yahweh is going to have an army. It ain't just going to be no angels in the sky. Let's let the scriptures talk. This Thessalonians, First Thessalonians 4, starting with verse 15. It says, "For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. So, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, and with the voice of an archangel, and with the trump of the Most High, and the dead in Amashiach shall rise first." Okay? "Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the cloud." So it's going to be the 144,000 and the Israelites. They're going to be caught up to meet Yahweh Shai, that the one that's on that horse. It says, caught up in the sky, in the clouds, to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. With that, wherefore comfort one another with these words. So that army that he gonna have is gonna be those Israelites that's caught up into the sky, and then they gonna fight against America, not America, Salakia, these remaining Edomites and all of these other nations that still got their armies, because this place is gonna get blowed up by nuclear fire. It ain't gonna be no major battle with this place, because these nuclear missiles gonna be blowing this place in the smithereens. Let's get that with Isaiah 50 and 40. Well, let's get 9 and then I'll jump down to 42 to show where it's gonna happen. It says, this is Jeremiah 50 and 9. It says, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country," that's Russia and its allies, "and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence shall she be taken. Their arrows," that's those nuclear missiles, "shall be as the mighty expert man, none shall return in vain." Okay, so let's get the place it's talking about. Verse 33, it says, "Thus says the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together." See, in this Babylon, both northern kingdom and southern kingdom is going to be oppressed together. Not like ancient Babylon. It says, "And all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Their Redeemer is strong." So that goes along with Isaiah 59 and 19, where their Redeemer gonna come when the people come in like a flood. Okay, verse 42. This is Jeremiah 50 and 42. Well, 40 and 41 is talking about how America is gonna be destroyed by nuclear fire, like destroyed like Sodom and Gomorrah. But 42, it says how they're gonna be destroyed. It says they shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, every one put in array, like a man to the battle, against you, O daughter of Babylon. See, this is going to be the daughter of Babylon, not ancient Babylon, where it was just the tribe of Judah, the southern kingdom in there. No, it's going to be a different Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, who's going to have the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in their kingdom, and oppressing both of them together. See, this is what the scriptures is saying. And so those nuclear missiles is gonna blow this place up. Then they're gonna go to war with the other nations, breaking them into pieces. Oh, let's get that in Revelation. Revelation chapter 2, 2 and 26. It says, "And he that overcome and keep my works unto the end, to him," or them, "will I give power over the nation, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken, see, broken to shivers, mean broken into pieces. So when you jump over to verse chapter 5, getting straight to the point in verse 10, it says, and he made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. So we're going to go to war with these people and then defeat they behind in the World War III. This is when their lives and their kingdom is going to fall. I'm going to end it with this Daniel 2:44 and Daniel 7. It says, and in the days of these kings, this is Daniel 2:44, in the days of these kings, the God of heaven shall set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. Ain't gonna be no 1,000 years, and then they gonna come and fight us, and we gonna have to battle these people again. No, that's a lie. It says, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. All right, this is Daniel 7 and 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. So they ain't gonna be no, oh, they gonna make a comeback. Said no, they're not making no comeback. The Lord is gonna get rid of these enemies of ours. Now, the same in this Revelation 11 said we're gonna get beamed up and meet the Lord in the air and start fighting these people. Verse 15, that was 11 and 12, said we're gonna meet the Lord in the air when our enemies is trying to kill us. Verse 15, it says, and the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Amashiach, and we shall reign forever and ever. See, we're going to get spiritual power. We're not going to be fighting these people with our flesh. We're going to get spiritual bodies and spiritual power to come and run through the militaries like it ain't no thing and throw they behind into captivity. Let me get the end all be all. Isaiah 24 and 21. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, the kings of the earth upon the earth. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison. After many days shall they be visited. So we going to defeat them, throw them into prison, make them some freaking slaves, put chains on their behind, like Psalm 149 said we going to put chains on their kings and their nobles. Like Isaiah 45 and 14 saying we going to put chains on these Hamite Africans. See, that Muhammad Ali, he said, I came back from fighting and tried to go eat at a restaurant, but a stinking African, he walked up in the restaurant when they said Negroes don't supposed to eat. So how did he go in the restaurant and I couldn't go in the restaurant? Because you is an Israelite. See, you not no freaking African. They going in the chains too. Because they got all kind of kingdoms over there. See, and they going to the UN and they confederate with these people. The economic hitman done paid them off and they just living on the hog. But I'm going to leave it there. Give all praises, glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakadash. Double honors to the elders pushing the truth, peace to the elect worldwide, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, descendants of slaves scattered around the globe on slave ships and through many captivities. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom. Kwam Yasharala.